नमस्कार. Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita Pratham Bhag Dityo Khundo, and our reading of Ashtam Parichhed, the 8th chapter, continues. Sri Ramakrishna is giving a very important advice to Keshav. And he's telling, you see the problem that you and Vijay fought, or people start parting away from your Brahmo Samaj, is that you don't see the inner nature of the people and then make them your disciples. You just, whosoever comes under your fold, you accept them as your disciples. And that is the problem, that the differences arise. And when such differences arise, they will part away, they will go away. They will start their own miniature version of Brahmo Samaj. So Thakur says, first you should know the person, because people look wise, they may all look alike. Typical features of a human being. But what is their inner nature? Some might have a predominant sattva guna, quality of sattva, goodness in it. Some may have lots of rajas in them, the very active people. And some may have predominant tamas, the lethargic people, good for nothing for that matter. And then he gave that example of sweets, the stuffed sweets in the sweetmeat shops, that some sweets, they are stuffed with the high quality sweetened condensed milk, and you just eat it and it kind of melts in your mouth. It gives you such a great pleasure, such a great joy. Oh, what a great stuffing this sweet has. Then some sweets, they will have coconut dipped in treacle or jaggery and stuffed inside. You eat them. Oh, this is okay, not bad. And some sweets, what they have the stuffing inside? Just some kind of a kolai pulse. The lentils, some powdered and then some mixed with this and that. And when you eat, not good, not like that. The one with sweetened condensed milk. But outwardly, they all look similar. So Thakur says, first you understand the nature of people who come to you and then make them your disciple. And then Sri Ramakrishna had also told that who can be a guru? Only Satchidananda can be a guru. Any Tom, Dick and Harry, just by saying I have become guru, can't become a guru. There won't be any following for a long time. People will come and listen and then go away. And till when Thakur gave that another example, till when the milk starts jumping in the pot, boiling, till the time there is fire underneath it, you just remove that stick of fire, push, all the milk will lie low in that pot. There will be no more boiling, there will be no more jumping. And that is the thing that Sri Ramakrishna says. And he says, you have to be more careful with people of Calcutta. You know how impatient they are. Unless and until you know them very well, don't make them your disciples. People of Calcutta, like, they feel thirsty, they start digging well. The moment they start digging well, just they go a little bit deep and they find a rock, and oh no, here we won't find water. They go to another spot, again start digging. No patience, no perseverance, and on the second spot they find it is full of sand. So, no, here is sand, we won't get any water, let us go to the third place. That is the type of people in this time. There is no patience, there is no perseverance. to listen to your teachings, to understand the teachings, to imbibe the teachings, and then to adopt those teachings in your day-to-day life. No, people want instant results. Hey, tuck, 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 tuck. No, sir, there is a rock, no water there. Then another place, tuck, 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 they'll start digging. There is sand, no water there. Then they will go to a third place. And Sri Ramakrishna says that this will, the teaching will be effective only when you have got a command from God. Then the teaching will be everlasting. Like Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Sri Ramakrishna gave this teaching in 1882, 83, 84, 85 till 86. In the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. And all these years have gone. The teachings are still fresh. So let us continue with his teachings in the 8th chapter. Abar. Now Sri Thakur is telling about receiving a command from God to teach people, to preach. And what Thakur says, what Sri Ramakrishna says, Abar মনে মনে আদেশ হলে হয় না তিনি সত্য সত্যই সাক্ষাৎকার হন আর কথা কন তখন আদেশ হতে পারে সে কথার জোর কত পর্বত টলে যায় শুদ্ধ লেকচার দিন কতক লোক শুনবে তারপর ভুলে যাবে সে কথা অনুসারে কাজ করবে না Sri Ramakrishna says simply by telling yourself or telling people I have got a command from God, what help? You will be fooling yourself, you will be fooling others. আবার মনে মনে আদেশ হলে হয় না না simply saying I have got a command from God, it won't work that way. তিনি সত্য সত্যই সাক্ষাৎকার হন আর কথা কন the God will actually in reality come and give you darshan. You will be able to see God face to face and God will tell you. Now, you remember in the first section, Pratham Khondo, in which was that the fifth chapter, Sri M had asked, can we see God? Sri M had asked, ईश्वर के की देखा जाए কি দর্শন করা যায় and what Sri Ramakrishna had told অবশ্য করা যায় can one see God? Definitely one can see God. And here again Sri Ramakrishna has once again reiterated that thing that you will get a command not by just by simply saying yourself saying I have got a command. No, the God will come and give you the vision and also tell you, give you the command, go and now preach. Now the ground is ready. Now the platform is ready. Now you go and give a lecture. Now you go and preach. That is what happens. And then তিনি সত্য সত্যই সাক্ষাৎকার হন আর কথা কন he will actually come and talk to you. You will be able to see God. And then তখন আদেশ হতে পারে then you will receive the command from the Lord, go and preach. সে কথার জোর কত? You know what is the power of that teaching, of that command? What is the power of the teaching you can start once you receive a command? The power is পর্বত টলে যায়. You can move the mountains. You can shake the world. That is the power. That is the strength in your teaching then. Once you get a command from God. You look at the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. You look at the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Even today, hundreds of years have passed. They have such a great relevance. They have got such a great acceptance. They have got such a tremendous power. It has changed the lives of so many people. It has, like Valmiki, like Valmiki, who was a dacoit at one point of time. He used to plunder and murder and kill, and then that dacoit, that murderer, with the power of the name of Lord Ram, was converted into the great sage Valmiki, who was at one point of time Valia the killer. From Valia, he became Valmiki. Such a great transformation in the Lord's name. And similar is the transformation power in the teachings of such great souls who have seen God, who have got the command from God. Otherwise, what happens? There are Hajar Gurus which come into existence. They start preaching. Maybe for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, their teachings create a lot of halabala, and then everything dies off. No long lasting effect of those teachings. But if you receive the command from God, which God Himself gives you when He comes and gives you darshan. And in that chapter, in the fifth chapter again of the first section, Sri M had asked Sri Ramakrishna, under what circumstances can one see God? And what did Thakur tell? Thakur had told him that when you shed tears with great yearning to have his vision, God cannot stay away from giving you that vision. You should have that yearning. You should have that kind of longing to see the God. So that is the power of the teaching that you start when you get command from the God. Shuddho lecture, just lecture, like all these, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry gurus they give. Shuddha lecture, just lecture. দিন কতক লোক শুনবে তারপর ভুলে যাবে. Just for a few days people will listen to it, and after that they will forget everything. সে কথা অনুসারে কাজ করবে না. They will not work on the basis of what these kind of temporary gurus they teach. Those teachings can never work in practicality. And then, to emphasize this point of receiving a command from God, Sri Ramakrishna, he gives another story. Now, the story he is narrating from his village, Kamarpukur. He Purbo Katha, Bhab Chokshe Haldar Pukur Darshan. M is writing now. He is given description of this story that Sri Ramakrishna is narrating is as if we are getting that vision in ecstatic mood that Sri Ramakrishna is telling us. Vision of Haldar Pukur. There is a pond in Kamarpukur. Sri Ramakrishna's birthplace, Kamarpukur. There is this pond, Haldar Pukur, not far off from the place of Sri Ramakrishna's birth, and where the Ramakrishna Mutt is located today in Kamarpukur, just a few meters of walking distance across the road. So Sri Ramakrishna is now telling a story about that Haldar Pukur. Sri Ramakrishna says, O deshe হালদার পুকুর বলে একটা পুকুর আছে, পুকুরের পাড়ে রোজ সকালবেলা লোকে বর্জ্য করে রাখত, যারা সকালবেলা আসে খুব গালাগাল দিও, আবার তারপর দিন সেই রূপ, বাজে আর থামে না, সকলের হাস্য। তখন লোকে কোম্পানিকে জানালে, তারা একটা চপরাশি পাঠিয়ে দিলে, সে যখন একটা কাগজ মেরে দিলে, বাহ্য করায় না, তখন সব বল। সকলের হাস্য। Now, Sri Ramakrishna is telling this funny story from his native village of Kamarpukur. ও দেশে হালদার পুকুর বলে একটা পুকুর আছে। In that village, in my village, there is one pond known as Haldar Pukur. By the way, in Bengali, pukur means pond. And even Kamar Pukur, the village per se, it got its name from one pond, Kamar Pukur. The pukur, the pond, which was used by Kamar people. That is people who get into this, making earthenware facility, kumbhar. So, ও দেশে হালদার পুকুর বলে একটা পুকুর আছে। In my village, there is one pond by name হালদার পুকুর। পুকুরের পাড়ে রোজ সকালবেলা লোকে বাহ্য করে রাখতো। People used to come and defecate early morning near the bank of that pond. It was used for nature's calls. যারা সকালবেলা আসে খুব গালাগাল দেয়, and people used to come and defecate, and other people used to shout, hey, you are making the place dirty, you are making the place dirty. And আবার তারপর দিন সেই রূপ, every day the same thing used to happen. People used to come, other people used to shout at them, lot of abusing, lot of shouting, no end to it. And day in and day out, the same thing used to happen. Bajje ar thamena. People never stopped from defecating on the bank of that Kamarpukur. Then what happened? Now, after naturally listening to this, everybody started laughing. তখন লোকে কোম্পানিকে জানালে, company is East India Company, which was ruling Bengal at that time, in the late 1800s, 1880s. So then people who were fighting, who were abusing, who were shouting at the people who were defecating there, they informed the company official, an official of the East India Company, that look, we drink this water, we use this water for washing and all that, and these people, they come and they don't listen to us at all. So they went and made a complaint to the one official of East India Company. Then what happened? তারা একটা চপরাশি পাঠিয়ে দিলে। That official, he sent another person, another official. সে যখন একটা কাগজ মেরে দিলে, বাহ্য করিও না, তখন সব বন্ধ। And then that official came to Haldar Pukur and he pasted one notice there on that bank that nobody will defecate here, nobody will use this place for answering nature's calls. And then everything stopped. Then people stopped using that place to answer nature's calls. And then everybody starts laughing. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, now he comes to the actual point that he wants to convey to the people, to these devotees. Lok শিক্ষা দেবে তার চাপরাশ চাই, না হলে হাসির কথা হয়ে পড়ে। আপনারই হয় না, আবার অন্য লোক কানা কানাকে পথ দেখায় যাচ্ছে। হাস্য। হিতে বিপরীত। ভগবান লাভ হলে অন্তর্দৃষ্টি হয়ে, कार की रोग बोझा जाए उपदेश देवा जाए. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, he narrated that funny story of Haldar Pukur, how people stopped defecating in that on the bank of that pond after the official of the East India Company came and pasted that notice, no more defecation here. Hmm. So Sri Ramakrishna says, if you have to teach people, a person must have a badge of authority, Japrash, like the badge. Hmm. The sheriffs in the Western countries, they have that badge. The police officers, they have that badge. Hmm. So Thakur says, you should have that badge, that authority, God's command, and then you can teach. Na hole, if you don't have that command, হাসির কথা হয়ে পড়ে, you will become a laughing stock. People will one day ridicule you. Oh, that fellow, he himself didn't know anything and he came to teach us. That is what will happen at if you don't have the command. কানা কানাকে পথ দেখায় আপনারে হয় না, আবার অন্য লোক, he himself, he has not learnt anything and he is going to teach others. He will be a laughing stock, a matter of ridicule. কানা কানাকে পথ দেখায় যাচ্ছে, a blind leading the blind. That will be the scene. If that will be the case if you don't have command from God to teach others. First, gain knowledge yourself. You haven't got anything, and you are going to distribute your knowledge. It is like blind leading a blind. Hite bipurit. If you do this without gaining knowledge yourself, you are preaching. It will have totally opposite result. Hite viparit. First, it won't do any good. Rather, it will be nothing but giving harm to the disciples, harming the disciples. It will be a great harm if the guru does not have proper knowledge and starts teaching. Bhagwan labh hole antardrushti hoye. Once you have realized God, you can see the inner nature of the people. Like Sri Ramakrishna had told, looking at the forehead. When Sri Ramakrishna had told Sri M that you have good qualities, after Sri Ramakrishna had sternly told him and kind of ridiculed him, reprimanded him that he is married, he even has children. So he is enjoying his sex life and all that. So Sri M had started getting confused and a bit of a low. But then Sri Ramakrishna told him, he elevated his mood. He said, but you have got good signs. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was more concerned about him. He said, you have got good signs. I can see the people by looking at their forehead, by looking at in their eyes. I can make out what is the stuff that the person is made up of. So Sri Ramakrishna says, Bhagwan labh hole antardrushti hoy, kar ki rog boja jaye. Once you have the vision of God, you can get to the inner core of people and know what is this fellow's disease. He's suffering from which disease and how you can get rid of that disease through your teaching. And then Updesh deva jaye. And only then, when you know the nature of the person, what is his tendency, what is his ishta, which is his ishta, when you know these basic tendencies of a person's spiritual status, then you can teach him. Updesh Devachai. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, Ahankar Vimudhata Kartahamiti Manyate. That is the shloka of uh, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, shloka 27, that Sri M has incorporated here in between, not full slok, but just a portion of the slok that is clouded by egotism. Ahankar Vimudhatma Kartahamiti Manyate, clouded by delusion, clouded by egotism. One thinks that he is the doer. And that's what Sri Ramakrishna tells about it. Adesh na থাকলে আমি লোক শিক্ষা দিচ্ছি এই অহংকার হয়ে. Without getting the command from God, if you start teaching, what will be the result? Forget about result on the disciples. It will boost your ego. It will elevate your ego to such an extent, অহংকার হয়ে অজ্ঞানে, that you will get into ignorance. This ahankar, it gets cropped in the mind because of the ignorance, because you have not received command from God to teach. And then you start feeling, oh, I am great teacher. It is a total fallacy. There is no truth in it. Just because of your ignorance, you create that false image for yourself and you become egotistic. I'm a great teacher. অজ্ঞানে বোধ হয়ে আমি কর্তা. When you have this delusion, because of this ignorance, you get that notion that I am the doer, I am teaching, I am preaching, I am a great guru. This is all because of ignorance. Ignorance leads to egotism and you start feeling you are the great teacher. Ami Korta, I am doing it, I am the doer. You get that feeling, nothing but because of ignorance. Ishbor Korta, Ishbore সব করেছেন, আমি কিছু করছি না, এ বোধ হলে তো সে জীবন মুক্ত. The moment you get this realization, even if you are teaching, if you understand it is God who is doing it, not me. It is not me. He is doing it. My mother is doing it. When you get this realization, then is the time that you can get actual liberation. Then you can become Jivan Mukta. আমি কর্তা এই বোধ থেকে যত দুঃখ ও শান্তি. Till the time you have this pride, you have this ego of I am the doer, I am doing it, till the time you have that attitude, there will be nothing but troubles, miseries, and no peace at all. You will never get a peace of mind till you have this notion of I am the doer. He is the doer. I'm insignificant. It is just because he tells me what to do, I happen to do it. If he doesn't wish, I won't do it. As simple as that. But to say this, that it is all his doing, that I am doing this, you must have first the vision of God. Otherwise, your teaching is going to be futile. It will be blind leading the blind. And here comes to an end the 8th chapter. We will take up the 9th chapter, Navam Puriched, in our next reading, where Sri Ramakrishna is again going to talk about Karma Yoga Shambhande Upadesh, the advice pertaining to Karma Yoga. So let us stop the reading here for this day, and Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.